Bora, pessoal, continuar o nosso guia de Sherlock Holmes capítulo 1 no nosso canal Toalha Nerd. Vamos olhar
I
aqui a
guess
pintura.
this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John?
Viu a diferença? Eu achei uma. Vamos aqui no banheiro. Pega ali, ó.
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
Beleza, evidência coletada. Fale com o John.
You always take me to the best of places, Sherry.
Beleza. Fala de novo. Acho que já deu o desafio pra nós, né? Quando ele falou que a gente não deveria contar da morte.
You always take me to the best of places,
Beleza, é isso que nós temos que fazer. Nós vamos contar da morte pra mulher pra ganhar um troféu. Então é importantíssimo a gente seguir. Vocês seguirem o guia. Caso venham as escolhas do que eu agora.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
Vamos perguntar quem entrou em meu apartamento recentemente.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Vamos agora, mande a polícia para meu apartamento.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Conseguimos o troféu Um Perfeito Cavaleiro. Também vencemos o desafio do John. Por procedimentos da senhoria. Beleza.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man.
Vamos pro nosso guarda-roupa. Vamos botar uma roupa de Gentleman. Pelo amor de Deus. Deixa eu ver. Mestre Detetive. Eu gosto dessa roupa. O maior dos detetives. Não, vamos pegar essa. Vamos tirar o cabelo dele ali, pelo amor de Deus, né? Sem chapéu simples. Vamos deixar ele sem os óculos. Sem a barba feia que tá ali. Sem a maquiagem de artista. Meu Deus. E que seria como a gente vê o John. John ucraniano. John do sorvete. E terno favorito do John. Tá, vou deixar o dele com o dele. Beleza, trocamos nosso uniforme. Putz. Eu troquei, ele ia trocar sozinho. Filha da mãe. Não, quero esse. Pronto. Vamos ativar então o... Cadê? Redesenho do John de uma garota grávida. Essa aqui foi a garota que foi estuprada lá, né? Na foto que o Sherlock tinha. Pode ver que ela não fica na nossa evidência. Eles não mostram pra nós, que é ótimo. Esse é a garota e esse é o libertino, digamos assim, que tava vestido de... Que foi o cara que violou a garota. Então tá bom. Nós queremos rastrear essa aqui da garota, beleza? Na verdade, a gente precisa da roupa de serviçal agora. Aquela que nós estava antes, ou de operário, tanto faz. Essa aqui, ó, beleza? E agora a gente tem que encontrar garotas na rua parecidas, com roupas parecidas como essa aqui, ó. A cada ali eu acho que é uma. É aleatório, então.
Could you help me?
I'm afraid my mind has gone blank.
Tá, beleza. Ela não. São aleatórias. Então a gente tem que andar pela cidade aqui, pela cidade velha. Por toda a cidade velha. Eu vou andar aqui perto pra ver se tem alguma sorte. Então vocês também têm que andar até vocês encontrar uma dessas garotas com a roupa parecida com a da foto, beleza? Que vai dar a informação pra nós que a gente precisa pra avançar no caso. Deixa eu ver. Não parece, mas vou
May
perguntar.
I ask for your assistance?
Ask someone else. I have no information.
Não é, eu imaginei. Se eu não me engano, os vestidos dela são mais escuros também. Isso vai depender da nossa... Opa, essa aqui parece ser, vou apertar.
Can I ask you a question?
I am sorry to disappoint you, but I don't know about that.
Tá, não sabe de nada. E essa?
Can I ask you a question?
I would help if I need more, but perhaps others will be more helpful.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
Não parece ser. Vamos procurar. Eu dei as coisas quando são aleatórias assim. Perguntar pra essa aqui.
Is this familiar to you?
I'm afraid my mind has gone blank.
Não é. Essa aqui, deixa eu ver.
May I ask for your assistance?
Of course. The streets have the information you seek.
Pegamos. Redesenho do João de uma garota grávida. A cicatriz no rosto da garota parece ser da tribo grupo étnico de Ai. O único lugar onde se pode encontrar o povo de Ai é em Cordonai, no campo de refugiados. Beleza. Olhe bem pra ela. Como é que ela tá vestida. Ela tá com um turbante na cabeça, mas geralmente também pode ser sem turbante. Então vai perguntando com as pessoas com roupa parecida que vocês vão encontrar mais cedo ou mais tarde. Onde eu encontrei, só pra vocês verem, foi aqui nessa rua aqui da cidade velha. Eu nem saí da cidade, beleza? Bem no início aqui, ó. Em cima tá a Torre Rava. Aqui tá o mercado da cidade velha. Então vocês procurem mais ou menos nessa região aqui que vocês vão encontrar também. Agora sim, vamos trocar de roupa aqui. Ok. Cadê o mapa? Monte da cidade velha. Não é aqui que nós queremos. Ponte de Maltese. Ponte Vitoriana. É essa aqui mesmo. Vamos marcar ela. E vamos fazer uma viagem rápida pra cá, que é o lugar mais perto que tem. estão bem em cima da ponte, né? Ok. Consegui um novo ponto de viagem rápida.
Did you hear? Another sail.
Nós precisamos encontrar uma descida.
Does this poster truly claim that Cordona has a ghost?
Novo carro azul, caçador de fantasma. Não é aqui. Acho que é do outro lado da ponte. Vamos atravessar de volta. É aqui.
Beasts!
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they...
Where do you think you're going? Speak with the chief.
To the sea.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
Sou da prefeitura.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm from City Hall. They sent me to oversee the situation.
No, you're not. I'm the supervisor of the camp, and I'm the one who's handling the current situation on behalf of City Hall. Ronald Harlow at your service. Now, sir, tell me who you really are, or you'll have to explain yourself to the police. I have full authority to request they detain you.
Very well, Mr. Harlow. I am a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness on my case. Sherlock Holmes is my real name.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in, so please, step back.
Observa. Trabalha com pouca iluminação. Tenta parecer mais velho. Finge autoridade. Mãos suadas, estressado. Ali, ó. Sedentário. Vamos dizer, muito formal. Aceita.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
Eu posso ajudá-lo.
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Eu estou pronto.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Vamos falar com o inspetor.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector.
Alguma outra vítima?
And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Quem é o defunto?
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Quem são os suspeitos?
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Vamos trocar aqui, livro de casos. Cena de crime no campo de refugiados. Aperta quadrado.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
Começa com aqui, ó. 9, tá vendo?
Clearly a left handprint here.
Pegada ali no 4.
A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal.
Chegou a hora de olhar aqui. Os caixotes.
A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
Sangue
Someone
também.
bled profusely here.
These events have fractured into so many pieces.
Aqui no
But
8,
I
olha.
know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Tamanho 43,
A
bota
man's
sem
footprint.
salto. Tamanho 42,
A
só
heavy boot with a
danificada.
worn-out sole.
Tamanho 41, botas
Police
policiais.
boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
Aqui no 2,
A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona.
ótimo. Ali tá o cadáver.
Coal
Sujeira
dust
debaixo
under the
das
nails.
unhas.
I don't see much coal around here.
Pó de carvão.
An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something?
Roda.
A steel dirk. Sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain.
Cadê a última? Era pra estar aqui em cima. Mas não tá aparecendo. Cadê? Perdi a última de vista. Acho que é o sapato, né? Era o sapato.
Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
Cinco aqui, ó. Examina.
Carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment.
6.
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
Aqui. Vira de novo. Boa. Vamos pro 7.
Someone was dragged against their will.
Vamos lá completar mais um requisito para outro troféu. É aqui, ó.
He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Cadê? Vamos.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
Vamos cuidar do refugiado então.
I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
Vamos trocar agora para refugiado ferido. Aqui, quadrado. Vamos improvisar nossos primeiros socorros. Pegando roupa no varal.
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound.
Pega, beleza. Vamos pegar água fervendo aqui.
I'll use it to create a solution.
Ok. Ali, ó.
I'm
Pega.
afraid these leaves can only be added to tea.
Tá ok, não era essa. Na verdade, nós precisamos de aloe vera. Acho que aqui tem. Aloe vera, tá aqui.
I can
Boa.
use this to stop the infection from spreading. I've collated all the
Pegamos.
ingredients now to prepare the first aid solution.
Vamos então. Deixa eu ver. Análise química em cima do refugiado ferido. Aperta o L3 para nós pular um minigame. Conseguimos.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Desafio
Well done,
vencido.
Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Vamos mudar agora para como o intruso entrou no acampamento. Aperta quadrado. Barco. Improvável.
It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards.
Cadê o resto? Que escada.
No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs.
A grade.
If they find out about the
Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these
find
grates.
out about the passage, everything will go to hell. Passage, everything will go to hell.
Aqui no chão, ó. Chamas de cigarro. Essa mina. Cadê a outra? Tá ali também.
Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Tá, vamos começar aqui. Seis, sete. Ô porcaria, cadê o de 9? 7, 6. Cinco. Sumiu de onde eu quero começar. Tá aqui, ó, 9, finalmente. Não, é isso. Troca. É esse. Beleza. Errado. Tropeçou nas caixas. Está certo. Certo. É isso. Beleza. Beleza, fechou também. Pode validar.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Cadê o policial para nós apresentar as pistas para ele?
You still here?
Vamos oferecer evidência.
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened here.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. Maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say.
Deixa eu ver pra onde nós vamos.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
If they find out about the
Escuta
passage,
eles.
everything.
Vamos lá, vamos iniciar. Pra baixo, pra baixo, pra baixo, pra baixo. Pra cima, pra baixo, pra baixo, pra cima. Não deu tempo. Vamos de novo. Eu me perdi naquela última ali, não tinha certeza se era aquela ali mesmo.
If they find out about the passage, everything.
Vamos lá então. Pra baixo, pra cima, pra baixo, pra cima, pra baixo, pra cima, pra aí. Acho que é. Deu certo. O que está acontecendo no campo de refugiados?
Nobody will know.
Vamos então colocar essa pista. O que está acontecendo no acampamento de refugiados, no com quadrado.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
Vamos aqui no Palácio Mental.
You still here?
Vamos oferecer mais evidência para ele. Que já foi.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Back off.
Deixa nós entrar ainda, estamos faltando alguma coisa aqui, peraí.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this. Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea? We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
Tem alguma coisa errada. Livro de casos. Selecionar o sequestro fracassado aqui.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Acho que eu falo do cara errado, é com esse aqui, ó.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees
Sabia.
didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clerk can make any difference in this place?
Agora sim, acho que a gente pode
Just one ill-fitting cog.
dividir casos. O que está acontecendo no campo de refugiado? Aperta
The
quadrado.
whole machine crumble.
Vai deixar nós entrar, quer ver? Ou assim espero.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John. By a long shot.
Vamos terminar de fazer as coisas aqui no Palácio Mental. O que der pra nós fazer. Ladrão visitou a galeria do Vogel. Beleza. O ladrão da galeria visitou Mercúrio. Já temos a conclusão. Um capanga, não apenas um ladrão. Beleza. O visitante não queria matar Mercúrio. O ladrão queria fotografia. O violador é um oficial de alta patente. Por enquanto é
Naylor
isso.
doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
At least some of your kind have a hat. Thank you again.
O redesenho de um libertino. Aperta quadrado para marcar essa evidência. Peraí, deixa eu trocar de volta aqui para o que está acontecendo no acampamento. Cadê? Quadrado. Fala com ela.
Are you able to help me?
They often take us from the camp to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way to get a glimpse of freedom.
O que está acontecendo no acampamento de refugiados? Beleza,
So there's a
atualizamos.
smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time.
Agora sim a gente bota essa. Quadrado.
Someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here?
Vamos oferecer evidência.
Your problem, not mine.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
Deixa eu ver pra onde nós vamos. Todas as evidências coletadas. Fechou então. Aqui fechou. Eu pensei que não tinha. Tava esperando aparecer isso. Por isso eu tava ficando parado ali. E apareceu. Vamos à viagem rápida. Vamos. Cadê a prefeitura? Peraí, não dá ainda. Não sei aqui. Acho que agora vai dar. Teatro, Praça dos Fundadores, Basílica de São Francisco. Prefeitura de Codorna, aqui mesmo. Vamos marcar e vamos viajar rápido para cá.
Treasure maps from the governor. Find 8 and come back for more.
Eu nunca acerto a entrada disso. Achamos. Não é aqui. Arquivos. Assuntos. Oficiais. Pera aí, calma aí. Registros oficiais, tá certo. Assuntos oficiais. Período britânico. Registro. Acho que é documentos. Não, é ocupações. Vamos apertar aqui para ver se deu certo. Tá aí, ó. Perfil de Thomas Norton. Beleza. Parece que nós já estamos no lugar certo. Se vocês lerem as informações. Tá ali ele. Vamos falar com ele.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Vamos observar ele. Não dormiu na noite passada, tá com os olhos vermelhos. Não se barbeou, se é tempo para se barbear. Ordem de banho novo, nunca reformado. Mancha vermelha, vinho. Tá faltando a última. Ali no ombro ali, ó. Roupas amarrotadas. Trabalha até tarde. Aceita. Vamos botar um enviado gosta de festas. Isso é muito importante para um troféu que a gente vai desbloquear. Beleza, aceita.
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
On my way here, I was wondering whether you might regret what you did. I tried my best to retain at least a shred of faith in humanity. I had hoped that you would hear her scream, see her face in your dreams, or at least once asked yourself how Nayla might feel.
Who?
Neither of my hopes were fulfilled.
Why are you here?
Socar a cara dele, pessoal. Socar a cara dele, beleza? Para desbloquear o troféu.
You defiled a girl who was with child. Don't even pretend that you regret what took place. Do you wonder why I came here? It is because I am disgusted with people like you, and the only way in my mind to rid the world of your ilk is to see you hanging from the gallows.
All right, all right. Is it about money, as you said in the letter? I have it, all right? There's no need for violence.
I've never written a single word to you. As you can see, I have a more direct approach.
That letter, it wasn't from you. So what do you want?
Answers, to start with.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
Vamos começar então. Quem tentou chantagear
You
você?
mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
Próxima pergunta.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
Você tentou roubar a pintura?
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
Você conhece Mercúrio?
Boniface Mercurio. Does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt.
Vamos... Deixa eu ver... Ajudar a Nélia.
Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
That's not all.
E ajudar os refugiados.
Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism.
Com isso, pessoal, a gente vai encerrar essa parte por aqui. Não faça mais nada aqui, hein? Deixa o likezinho, se inscreva aí e até a próxima.